Obviously, Davey Allison drives hard. His philosophy is to run wide open at all times as long as his daring ways do not put rivals in danger. In that regard, he has established himself as one of the more shrewd and respected competitors in auto racing.
I never compare myself to other people as far as trying to rate my ability versus theirs. I go after everything that I do to do the best I can at that. And when it's all said and done, I'll let the other people do the rating.
He's one of the very few that can build a car from the ground up, get in it and drive it, and understand what it's doing. There's many times out on that racetrack when something was going on and he says, hey, we need to do this to the car. And the crew could respond to that, and shoot, a lot of times it works.
But there are other elements that make Davey Allison special as an internationally known sportsman. For instance, his heart appears to be the size of a super speedway, particularly when facing a tough challenge. That type of courage was displayed during 1992, when the little man from Hueytown, Alabama, continued to run wide open through all types of misfortune. There was the unexpected death of his brother, Clifford Allison, at Michigan, followed by a strong performance at the same track a few days later. Davey Allison was hurting, but he knew his younger sibling would want him to keep running wide open in his honor.
I had some very close friends the weekend of the race at Michigan that Clifford died tell me to go home. And in some ways, and in some other lines of work, that probably would have been the right thing to do. But if I had done that, I would have been letting him down. I would have been letting Clifford down, because so much of our life has been based on whatever happens to someone else in our family, we still have to do our best to do our job right. And if I had gone home that weekend and not gotten in that car, I'm not sure I could have gotten in it the next week either.
There was a serious scrape with death at Pocono, followed 1 week later by one of the more fearless and inspiring moments in sports history at Talladega. Davey Allison was down, but he was not out.
That was a hard week leading up to Talladega, because there was a part of me that wanted to strangle him and tie him down and say, you're not getting back in that race car. And he was hurting. It hurt him physically to get in and out of that car, but you have to support him.
I've been exposed to the dangers of the business. I've seen my dad bounce back from serious injuries. I've seen other drivers bounce back from serious injuries. And laying there in that hospital bed, evaluating my condition, I knew the best thing for me to do was to have as positive an attitude and as forward-moving, positive attitude as I could possibly have. Not just, okay, I'm going to get better. Not that. It's got to be, I'm going to get better now. And I'm going to get healthy now where I can do my job as soon as possible. And I told them right there in the hospital when they were operating on my arm, that one doctor told me, son, you're not racing next week. And I said, yes, I am. You fix my arm, I'll worry about driving the race car.
During an unbelievable campaign of checkered flags and dramatic crashes in 1992, the Texaco Havoline team and its driver picked up 5 Winston Cup Series victories, plus another in the Winston. Incredibly, the good fortune found at Daytona, North Wilkesboro, Talladega, Brooklyn, Charlotte, and Phoenix were at times overshadowed by the adversity found elsewhere. But at age 31, Davey Allison captured the hearts of auto racing fans who marveled over both his ability to keep rolling at the front of the pack and to smile during periods of utter anguish.
I think it's just that desire and that drive to be the best that he can. You know, his dad was a lot like that. His dad was about the best thing that ever sat in a race car, and he's got some of the same characteristics there, but he has got the drive and determination. It doesn't matter how many hours he's got to work in a day, he'll do that just to be the best.
Thus unfolds the Davey Allison story, a valiant epic consisting of several entertaining elements, an up-close and personal ride with a multifaceted auto racing superstar.
Racing at Martinsville, Virginia gives you more of a sensation of speed than racing at Talladega, Alabama. And the reason for that is, at Talladega, the centrifugal force is always a vertical load, very little side load. At Martinsville, a flat, short racetrack with a lot of acceleration, a lot of deceleration, a lot of lateral loading. As soon as you turn that steering wheel, you get the sensation of speed more because it tries to move you around in the car. At Talladega, you get a lot of bouncing and you draft, but you really don't feel like you're going all that fast until something goes wrong, and that's the times when you don't want to feel it.
The big one won't start at 8. Starts at 8. That's so pretty.
We need to know, like, who's strong, who's not strong, because that's information.
Try to give comparison is all I
Just,
do.
when you start bitching, then you're ready to run it good, or you get where you don't care. We don't want you not to care.
I'm always going to care. If I don't care, then I'm going to check out.
Yeah.
My kids are everything, and I've always had a weakness for kids anyways growing up. I never really thought that I was going to be the daddy type. You know, I never thought that I was cut out for that kind of a situation, but when Krista came along, I knew instantly that that was what my life was meant to carry on, and that when Robbie came along, we have our girl